Well, I'm still working on the Stagg 3/4 size left-handed guitar. What we're doing is trying to get the back glossed out. So I've sprayed it with lacquer, done 3 coats of lacquer, and now we have to flatten the uh, the finish. What I mean by that, I'll show you. Now, this doesn't look very glossy at all, does it? In fact, it isn't. But that is the whole point. What we need to do is flatten the finish so it'll look matte, but it mustn't have any high spots. I'll show you the high spots here. If you look at this, you'll see there's a semi-shiny bit in the middle. That means that needs to be sanded down because I need it to be uniform. Don't worry about the swirl marks at this point. This is a preliminary stage before we buff it out, but it needs to be even. Now, I don't know if you can hear that sound. I can't really, because I've done the whole back now, I've got nothing to compare it with. But what we want to do is use wet and dry paper. This is grit P2000. I've been using grit 1000 and 2000, and I had to get that off eBay because you won't get it in Wilco. The P stands for European Standard, and it's a more consistent grit, so try to get a P grit when you can. Right, the other thing you need to do is you do need to soak your grit in a bucket of water for 5 minutes before you use it, and then when you're ready to use it, you need to put water on the back of the guitar. Because you're doing the back, there's no holes in it, so you might think, why am I putting water on the guitar? It's okay. So here we're going to go around. Trying to attack that high spot. And your camera's jerking all over the place, so don't have it on a tripod. And my lovely wife is asleep. If you look closely, you'll see there's a milky colour coming to the water. That is good, that's what you want. That means that the high bits are beginning to get sanded down. Don't forget to put more water on. Circular motion. And when you do the final polishing, you'll want to do up and down motion with the grain of the wood. But right now, circular motion is fine because there's a lot of prep work still to do to get this guitar ready for final polish. I'm not going to put any more lacquer on it. The idea of spraying it with lacquer and it's going to come out beautifully gloss is not going to happen. This is the lacquer I used. It was a cheapo one, clear lacquer. I don't recommend it. I do suggest you use something I didn't do, but a water-based lacquer if you can find one, because the fumes are not as toxic and it's more environmentally friendly as well. These fumes, you've got to be careful with them. You have to wear protection for, mask and everything. And in the state of health I'm in, I don't want to take any risks. So that's why I think it was 3 layers of lacquer I sprayed. It might have been 2, I think it's 3. And I said, enough's enough, I'm not doing any more lacquer, even if it means the guitar's not finished right, because this is a basic project here. So when you do your, when you've used your grit paper, now this is going to be, this is 1000 grit, and normally you can get up to 3000 grit. I've got some 3000 grit here. You can get grit as fine as 10,000 or 12,000. If you're hand polishing, which is what I'm going to do eventually, you may want to use an even finer grit than 3,000. So if you look on the internet, you'll see loads of places sell grit up to 3,000 fine. But if you want to, you can get I got some on order. It's cost me about £6.49, I think. Yeah, on the ubiquitous Amazon, which I don't like to advertise, but there you are. And I've got some coming that's up to 10,000. That's a very, very fine wet and dry grit. You always use wet and dry. Use wet. And here's a tip I can't use today. I think it's great. If you've got a regular school rubber, like the eraser that they use in school, like my son uses, you can wrap a tiny bit of this around the rubber, and you actually can use that as a sanding block. And believe it or not, all the stuff my wife and my son has got in this house, arts and crafts, and there's a rubber being used every single day in this house. I couldn't find a single rubber. That's why I'm compromising using my fingers. Shouldn't really do that, because we want a flat working surface that's got a little bit of give in it. But my sanding block is a lot bigger than this. I want to use a small amount. So that's basically it for right now. The guitar's coming along. There's a lot of work yet to do with it. And I'm just doing it as I'm, there's no time limit on this one. And I just want to see how good a finish I can get on it without compromising my health. Hope this has been useful and helpful to you. It's Johnny Ruffle. God bless you.